Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all having a ripper of an evening. Now, ripper meaning good. Hope you're having a good evening. Tonight is going to be something a little bit different. Now, I've reached a milestone, a year on YouTube, so I thought I'm going to be not doing a DVD review. I did one last night of the French horror film called Caged. So if you haven't checked it out yet, then if you want, I would appreciate it if you have a look at it. But today, because I've approached a year on YouTube, I thought I'd do something a little bit special. And my passion in cinema, as you all know, is French horror. So I thought I would do a top 20 French horror list. Now, this isn't necessarily the best films made, but more the most enjoyable films for me. So I know that I'm going to surprise a few people by what I've chosen in my order. But it's just the way I feel about them. So I'm sure that you guys would disagree with a few of them. And if you want to share your opinions on this list, then please feel free to do so. That's why I do these videos. And hopefully you even pick up some titles that you haven't heard of and you want to go and see them. So I want to thank everybody for all the support throughout the whole year. It's really gone fast. I've really enjoyed myself, met some great people, made some good friends, and even the people who hate me, you still have to take the time out of your day to visit my channel, visit my videos, thumb them down, but at least you're getting the views up. So without you guys, the YouTube experience wouldn't be the same. So I appreciate the good and the bad. I guess you got to take the bad with the good. But fortunately, there's a lot more good than bad on here for me. So I've been lucky in that sort of regard. There's not too many idiots out there. But yeah, the good people on YouTube really make it worth putting up with the imbeciles that come onto my channel from time to time. So, as I said, not a review, not an update, but a top 20. I'm going to start from number 20 and then go down to number 1. And so I want to get straight into it because I don't want to make this too long. So number 20, we're going to start off with a Claire Denis film called Trouble Every Day. Really good film, really well made, but I just really didn't enjoy it all that much. It's not a film that I'm going to be rushing to see again. I would recommend it. It's something a little bit different, but it's just the way it was shot, the artistic sort of feel. I'm all for arty kind of films, but this one just didn't really appeal to me all that much. I was a little bit disappointed at the end of it. Number 19, this is going to cause a few shocks because this one has been absolutely slaughtered by the critics and a lot of people on YouTube really didn't like it, very disappointed. I was initially disappointed, but I saw it again and I had a new appreciation for it. And this film is called Humane. Now, this is definitely not the same sort of quality as Trouble Every Day. Trouble Every Day is a better made film, but this one just had a little bit more entertainment value for me. Some really cheap special effects, but that didn't get in the way of a fairly interesting story. The acting wasn't great, but I still enjoyed it more than Trouble Every Day. So that's number 19. Number 18 is Eden Log, science fiction horror film. If you like science fiction, you would like this one. Even if you're a horror fan, I hate science fiction, but I still like this one because the horror element is just as strong as the science fiction one. So I'd definitely recommend this one. 17, we have High Lane. This is a very good adventure sort of horror film. Very good first half. The rock climbing scenes were amazing. The slasher part of the film is a little bit weak, but the first half really makes up for that. So I would recommend you go out there and see this one. Maybe try before you buy. Number 16, Baby Blood, considered a bit of a classic. Don't get me wrong, this is a very good film, but I tend to go for the new wave French horror a little bit more because it has a little bit more of a serious nature to it. But this one's very good and I would highly recommend it. I recently did a review, so if you haven't checked it out, I would appreciate if you take the time to have a look. 15, we have Stranded. This one also copped a little bit of a panning from the critics and people on YouTube, but I really like this one. This is the type of horror I like, the psychological kind. New wave French horror, not very gory, but still very creepy, and I really appreciated this one. 14, we have the French animated horror film Fears the Dark. I really like this one, very disturbing. For an animated film, it really surprised me. Some pretty good gore in there as well, in some parts. But I'd recommend this one just for something a little bit different. 13, we have Switchblade Romance, aka High Tension. I really like this one. Alexander Arger's best film. Hopefully he goes back to France because his standard has dropped since this film. I like the twist, a lot of people didn't. Definitely not my favourite, obviously, in the Fab Four, but still one that you have to have if you're a French horror fan. 12, we have the creature feature Prey. Not gory, but very good suspense. Killer pigs. this sounds like your thing, then I would highly recommend it. I really enjoyed it. It's a fairly short film, so you don't need a high attention span. 11. In Their Sleep. Very cruel and very, very sad film. Really, really well made. It was very basic, but the way it was done was very good, so this gets number 11. Number 10, we have Caged. Just did a review of this the other night, so if you want to check it out, please do so. Very, very good, very suspenseful, and some pretty gory detail in it as well. So that's number 10. Number 9, we have Them. A lot of people didn't like this one, but I really liked it. Good suspense. I think this is better than the American film The Strangers. Very, very suspenseful, no gore, so if that's your kind of thing, you won't like it. But, you know, if suspense is your game, then this one will satisfy your needs. 8 is a film that I hear no one talk about at all, which is a great shame because this is an absolute gem. Not really a horror, more of a thriller, but I feel that it qualifies as a horror film. That is The Serpent. Had the same vibe as the Cape Fear remake with Robert De Niro. His villain, Max Cady, the villain in this film kind of reminded me of him. He had that same sort of aura about him. And very, very good film. Very underrated. More people need to go out and see this one. 6, I've lost count. 7, sorry. Number 7, The Horde. French zombie film. Fantastic. Loved it. It's just really, really fun. Really gory. The violence, and it's just, yeah, it's just awesome. It's not a film that's going to make you think. Very, very fun, and I would highly recommend it. 6, sorry, I just lost count. Satan. Vincent Cassel did an outstanding job in this one. Very, very creepy, and not very gory, but just a really messed up film. 5, we have Frontiers. Now, a lot of people didn't really like this one once again, but I loved it. I thought it was brilliant, really, really gory, really dark, and one of the better French horror films out there. 4, we have The Ordeal, Calvaire, Fabrice de Velt's film from Belgium. Just a really, really messed up film, kind of like the same atmosphere as Satan. It's just sort of surreal, not very gory, but just really messed up themes. Number 3, we have Mutants, my favourite infected / zombie film. Very, very cruel, and it kind of paints a very real message. So if you want to find out about that message, then I would highly recommend you go out there and see this one. 2, we have Martyrs. Absolutely blew me away. One of the most extreme films you'll see. Love this film to death. I can't watch it too much because it's just one of those films that makes you feel really, really sad. So, very, very good. And then the last one, you know, all know what this one's going to be. One of the most gruesome horror films made in a very long time. Inside. Loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. And this is definitely a very well-deserved number 1 in my collection. Alright, that brings an end to the top 20. I've got a lot more of French horror, but I believe that this top 20 were the best. And as I said, not necessarily the best made film, but the films that I enjoyed the most. So this French collection of mine is getting bigger and bigger every day. Hopefully, you know, I'm sure that the French will continue to deliver very, very good films because, you know, they're really head and shoulders above the rest of the world as far as horror goes, in my opinion. So that's it. That's my top 20. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you later.